There's so many different ways you can serve.
I think I wanted to give something back just from the faith and the upbringing that I had received from my parents and parish and community at home.
As Catholics, we're called to put our faith into action, not just to go to church every Sunday.
It's really cool to see another part of the world and to be able to be a part of the community in a way that you wouldn't if you were just visiting or if you were on a short-term mission.
The language, the customs, the culture, everything is kind of turned upside down.
You get to really see what it's like to be someone who's from that country.
And that's when you really find out a lot about yourself that you'll never find out anywhere else in life.
What I like about the Salesian Lay Missionary program is their focus on working with the youth throughout the world.
When I was there, it was difficult work. But the thing is, whatever is difficult is always the most rewarding.
I remember coming back from China thinking, if God could get me through that, I could do anything.
I thought maybe there was a certain type of person that they were looking for, maybe a kind of a superwoman or superman of the church.
Would I be able to do it? Would I be able to learn the language? Would I actually be able to help?
I don't think you have to have any special skills or abilities to actually be successful and do well.
The commitment, the strong desire, and the love in your heart, that is the real qualification.
Initially, what I liked about the Salesian Lay Missioner program was its welcoming atmosphere and lack of intimidation during the application process.
When I started to speak to the director at that time and we started talking about mutual discernment, I remember being really taken by that idea, because I remember thinking all the other applications I've always done in my life have been, am I good enough? If I'm good enough, you'll accept me. If I'm not good enough, you won't accept me. And it was the first time that someone started saying, well, we have to decide if this is what God wants for you.
I guess at orientation, all my fears kind of were relieved, just seeing the community and getting a sense of what Don Bosco is all about and the whole system. And
I had heard of Don Bosco, the name, but I had no idea who he was or what he stood for and, you know, his life, his whole story.
You learn that the Salesian spirit is not, let me teach you, young person. It's, let us share this love. Allow me to help you discover what great spirit is already alive inside of you, and let's bring that out together as we journey.
it's about learning, it's about living together, it's about being a family.
The doubts, the things that would have kept me home were just temporary things, you know, like putting off a career, for example, but the things that I would have gained were lifelong.
I think ultimately in the end you kind of just have to go on faith and get on the plane. So that's what I did. Mostly it's orphans and kids that we pick up from the street that are runaways, who fled from home, who've been abandoned by their parents, who just kind of needed to get out.
A lot of kids there have been sexually, mentally, and physically abused.
Ferendo Speech and Hearing Center deals with children that are deaf and also have developmental disabilities. There's a few kids with autism.
There was a war in Sierra Leone that, where the kids were doing the fighting. And what this program did was take those kids in, which society didn't really want anymore. They were living on the streets. And they would try and find a home for them. They would feed them, educate them, you know, do everything they needed to do to get them back on track.
The homes, you know, provide the basic necessities, of course, of the children, you know, food, shelter, clothes, education. We send them to school. Some of the older kids receive vocational training, you know, nurturance, guidance, counseling, extracurricular activities.
My responsibilities include studying with the children every night, helping with prayer, walking them to school, teaching guitar, teaching computers, teaching singing.
Basically, it's just being there for the kids, showing them that someone cares, that someone's interested in their lives and what they're doing.
So we are sure, and we do tell the volunteers that don't worry when you think you have not taught them mathematics or arithmetics or grammar or big things, subjects, but that you were present, that the child and the young person had someone who reached out to them in acceptance that they have done a lot for that child, for his future.
The main goal of the Salesians is presence, to be there with the kids, and that's the greatest tool for evangelization.
We had an episode where the dog bit the kids, couldn't find keys for the medicine cabinet. We ran out of water, we ran out of power. We had a grease fire in the kitchen.
And I remember going into my room and shutting my door and thinking, I'm in way over my head. I will never last here 3 weeks.
I don't think anything could have prepared me to work in a home for street kids.
Just to have that stamina and to be able to cultivate a presence for 30 children every day with that schedule.
Yes, there are struggles, yes, there's difficult days, but it just feels like you're using your time and your talent to serve others. And I mean, I feel completely fulfilled in doing that.
I'm grateful for all my challenges just because a life without challenges is boring.
Pienso que esta experiencia que hacen los voluntarios.
I think that this experience of serving others helps the volunteers to broaden their horizons and share with those who are most in need of their assistance.
Compartir con nuestra gente que más necesita.
It's not like a one-year thing. It continues, whether it's in how you're going to live your life or whether the actual relationships continue for the rest of your life.
Lots of volunteers share with me that they're so surprised to see that these children who actually have nothing are so willing to share, are so willing to give their love and whatever they have to these people. And most of them, I think, go rich with a lot of love that they get from these children.
Indudablemente que lo que ellos dan.
Certainly, what the volunteers give to the children is always very little compared to what they and all of us who work here receive in return.
Recibimos de los muchachos, ¿no?
I get so much more out of it than I can put in, that I could ever put in.
Maybe our young people, our children are doing this reverse evangelization, giving back values, giving back attitudes, the right perspectives to people who come as volunteers here.
There's no way I would have wanted to do anything else. I'm so happy I did it, and I still keep finding ways that it does and doesn't fit into my life now. I mean, there's points you go, why'd I do that? And then you go, well, I want to go do it again.
When
the volunteer come, it's an opportunity for the program to improve. The implementation of the idea has brought positive development. The boys, the employees, and everybody else will benefit from the volunteer presence.
Everybody will learn from there.
Para nosotros los voluntarios,
for us, the volunteers are essential to our mission because we carry out our work together and share the Salesian charism. We believe that our mission and our work here would not be the same without them.
Nuestro trabajo, nuestra misión, sin ellos, pues nos faltaría algo, ¿no?
It's really an inspiration to us, the Indians, like living America with all the privileges that you are able to experience, coming to a almost a third world country, come and serve.
Why do you like the volunteers?
Because they are very kind to us, they teach us to read, and wherever we go, they look out for us.
Whenever I was wounded or bleeding, Migdalia embraced me and treated me with medicine. And if I was crying, she would cheer me up.
They have left behind their own homes, their families to come and stay with destitute children like us. I know it's very difficult on their part also. They also are going through a lot of hardship. And despite everything, they're here to stay with us. That's the best part I like about them.